The young and the restless spoilers, Phyllis couldn't bear to see Billy suffering in love. It gnawed at her, seeing him so lost and emotionally detached, and she couldn't just stand by without doing something. In her heart, Phyllis believed that Billy and Chelsea still had unresolved feelings for each other, and she was determined to reunite the two, convinced it would be for the best. But Billy was not the type of man who welcomed interference in his personal life, especially when it came to matters of the heart. He was independent, protective of his emotions, and had been through too much to let anyone dictate how he should handle his relationships. Knowing this, Phyllis knew she had to be careful, delicate even, in how she approached the situation. There would be no room for her usual bold and brash tactics. This required subtlety. Phyllis's first step was to talk to Chelsea. She hadn't seen much of Chelsea lately, but she knew that Chelsea had been through her own emotional turmoil. Billy had helped Chelsea during some of her darkest moments, especially when she struggled with her mental health, and that connection between them couldn't be ignored. Phyllis was certain that, despite everything, Chelsea still loved Billy, and she needed to confirm it. So, Phyllis went to see Chelsea, trying to appear as casual as possible. She didn't want to alarm her or make her feel pressured, but she needed answers. Over coffee at Crimson Lights, Phyllis carefully brought up the topic of Billy, probing gently. "Do you ever think about Billy? I mean, the two of you were good together once," she said, watching Chelsea's face closely for any signs of lingering affection. Chelsea's reaction was unexpected. Tears welled up in her eyes, and she quickly looked away, as if trying to hide her emotions. Phyllis hadn't anticipated such a raw response. "I don't know why I did the things I did," Chelsea said, her voice cracking. "Billy, he's such a good man, and I treated him horribly. Sleeping with Adam was... God, it was the biggest mistake of my life. I hate myself for it." Phyllis listened intently, absorbing every word. She had always suspected that Chelsea still harbored deep feelings for Billy, and now she had confirmation. Chelsea's guilt was palpable, and while she was currently with Adam, it was clear that Billy still held a special place in her heart. This was all Phyllis needed to know. A plan began to form in her mind. She would help Chelsea and Billy get back together, no matter what it took. But it wouldn't be easy. Chelsea seemed content with her life at the moment. She had found a sense of peace with Adam, and the two of them were working together to raise their son, Connor. For the first time in a long time, Chelsea felt like she had some stability, some sense of happiness. She wasn't eager to rock the boat. When Phyllis mentioned the idea of reconnecting with Billy, Chelsea quickly shut it down. "I appreciate what you're trying to do, Phyllis, but I can't. I can't go back to Billy. I've hurt him enough. And honestly, Adam and we're in a good place right now. We're trying to be a family for Connor, and they're working. I'm happy with Adam, and I think we're finally starting to get it right this time." Phyllis was disappointed, but not deterred. Chelsea might think she was happy with Adam, but Phyllis wasn't convinced. Deep down, she believed that Chelsea and Billy were meant to be together, and that Chelsea was only with Adam because it was comfortable, familiar. Connor had always been the thread that tied Chelsea and Adam together, but Phyllis was sure that wasn't enough to build a lasting relationship. She saw their relationship as fragile, one that could crumble under the weight of Chelsea's unresolved feelings for Billy. Still, Phyllis knew better than to push Chelsea too hard, especially now that she was being resistant. She would have to play the long game. Chelsea's emotions were complicated, and Phyllis would need to plant seeds of doubt in her relationship with Adam, while also reminding Billy of what he and Chelsea once had. She had to be careful, though. Billy was notoriously stubborn, and the last thing she wanted was for him to push her away because she came on too strong. Meanwhile, Chelsea and Adam were slowly rekindling their old feelings for each other. The bond they shared through Connor was undeniable. Adam had always been fiercely protective of his son, and Chelsea admired that about him. Despite their tumultuous past, their mutual love for Connor had brought them back together, and they were both dedicated to raising him in a stable, loving environment. For the first time in a long time, Chelsea felt like they had a real shot at making it work. Adam had softened, becoming more vulnerable and open, and Chelsea found herself drawn to that side of him. Connor, blissfully unaware of the complicated dynamics between his parents, was thriving. He loved having both his mom and dad around, and that sense of family was healing for all of them. In many ways, Connor was the glue holding Chelsea and Adam together. His presence made it easier for them to forget their past mistakes and focus on the future. But Phyllis wasn't convinced. To her, Chelsea's relationship with Adam felt like a temporary solution, a way for her to avoid dealing with her true feelings for Billy. Phyllis had seen it before, people settling for comfort over passion, for security over real love. She wasn't about to let that happen to Billy. She believed that Chelsea needed to confront her feelings, even if it meant shaking up her life with Adam. Phyllis left her conversation with Chelsea feeling more determined than ever. She knew Chelsea still loved Billy, even if she wasn't ready to admit it to herself. Phyllis just had to find the right way to nudge her in the right direction. At the same time, she would need to approach Billy carefully. He would resist at first, but Phyllis had a way of getting under people's skin, of planting ideas that would eventually take root. This isn't over, Phyllis thought as she walked away from Chelsea. Not by a long shot. She would find a way to bring Billy and Chelsea back together, even if it meant playing the long game. After all, when Phyllis set her mind to something, she didn't stop until she got what she wanted. But little did Phyllis know, sometimes meddling in other people's lives could have unintended consequences. Connor was happy now. Adam was rebuilding his relationship with Chelsea, and Billy was trying to move on. If Phyllis wasn't careful, her plan to reunite Chelsea and Billy might backfire, leaving all of them more broken than before. Still, Phyllis was nothing if not persistent. She wouldn't rest until Billy was no longer heartbroken, and in her mind, Chelsea was the only one who could heal him. The question was, would Chelsea ever let go of Adam long enough to realize it?